Alright, next vehicle we have is the Strv K. It's basically a Centurion turret mounted onto a Kranwagen's hull, and that's practically it. So comparing this to the Concept 1B, yeah, it's different levels of energy or excitement, just like blah. So mid 1950s, Sweden purchased Centurions from the UK and developing their own Kranwagen project, combining the Kranwagen's hull with the Mills hull with the Centurion turret. It was too expensive. They stopped it and produced the S-Tank, the Strv 103s. But it is similar to the Concept 1B. It's not a frontline reward, doesn't have the infinite repair kit, so it's likely a reward tank for the next ranked battle season. And I think people will probably choose the Concept 1B based on the hype, but as always, the stats will change. So let's take a look at this tank. But it has a 105mm, 2100 DPM, so not as much. Alpha is similar to the standard 105s, has 250mm of pen. Aim time is only 2 seconds, 0.33 accuracy, so it's basically a Centurion gun. Not as accurate as a Centurion gun. Centurion guns are usually 0.31s, but it's okay. So very thick turret front, it's 254. Side armor is not as good on the turret, but 410 meters of view range, so yada yada. 665 engine power, neighbor to the beast. Alright, and standard view range. Oh, a standard radio range with decent view range. And they don't tell me the terrain resistance yet again. Alright, so let's take a look at the crew. 4 crew, fits all the... Wait, it has 4 crew. It's not a medium, it's a heavy tank. It's a tier 9 heavy, so you're missing a loader if you're going to play with that tank. So let's shift to the Swedes. But usually the Kranwagens and the Mills have only 3-man crew. You're missing a loader. Yeah, you're missing a loader. Where are you going to get a loader for the heavy tanks? So you're playing without brothers in arms or sisters in arms? That's not fun. Okay, oh, that's a downside. So if you have brothers in arms on your Mk.2 or Kranwagen, you won't have it because you're missing a loader with it, so you have to train the loader for it. But whoops. So 250mm of pen, 390 alpha, standard, takes 10.55 seconds to reload. Traverse for the turret is fast, but it's a medium tank's turret, so okay. 10 degrees of gun depression, 18 elevation, 1.9 seconds of aim time, 0.32 accuracy, 2200 DPM. So it's still pretty good for a heavy tank, but it's I mean 2200 DPM is standard for a heavy, usually at tier 9. It's slightly above average for a heavy. The average is about 2000. If it's below 2000, it's kind of wonky, but those are usually autoloaders like the 50 120s in a sense. But yeah, it's a medium tank gun, but usually the Centurions have about 2400 DPM for the Centurion 7.1, I think, but it gets a better gold shell than the Centurion 7.1. Not as good as a Leopard's gun, but it's a heavy tank. So armor wise, 1750 health, not as crazy as some other super heavies, so it's more like a medium, but 90mm for the hull front, 70 for the hull sides. It's a Centurion turret, so it's a very bouncy turret, but the hull is not great. So the Kranwagen is not known for its hull, it's known for its turret and 12 degrees of gun depression. Originally for the Kranwagen, it was 15 degrees of gun depression on the test server, but they nerfed it. That was a long time ago, but hull armor is crap. Lower plate is crap. Don't even think about it. It's crap. You get pinned at tier 9. From like some tier 7s as well. Some tier 7s have about 200mm of pin, so you'll get pinned by tier 7s even. But turret front is strong, so that's the only good bouncy part. You do have the commander cupola so that's always been the weak spot for the Centurions. Side armor, don't even think about it. Don't side scrape, you will get pinned. So basically gun depression. Play this thing like a medium, but it's a heavy. Alrighty then. Yeah, we get artillery. It's only 30 for the turret back. Wow. And 18 for the engine deck. Oh my, this thing will get artillery. You see a heavy tank, you artillery it, unless you have some sort of cover. But armor wise, it's a medium tank's armor, in my opinion. But mobility wise, it's only 16 horsepower per ton ratio, 16.25. Top speed of 55, which is great, but reverse of 15 only. And hull traverse is not as strong as the 44 on the Concept 1B. So it does weigh about the same as the Concept 1B, but yeah, this thing doesn't feel as strong. That goes to show you how insane the Concept 1B is with 20 horsepower per ton ratio and traverse about 44 degrees per second. That is insanely fast for a heavy tank. It's good for medium too. It's actually very good for medium, but it has armor. It has slightly better camo than the Concept 1B, but it's a heavy even though it's a medium. Alright, has 10 more meters of view range. I'll give it that, but yeah, it's the same comparison with the tier 9 heavy tanks. As you can see, I mean, it does have better gun accuracy and aim time, but in a close distance battle, you don't actually need those. You just need to point your gun, sometimes press the number 2 button and load gold shell, and that's all you need to do. But the Concept 1B is a lot better in terms of armor protection. Smaller turret front, better side armor, better frontal armor on the hull, and it has 20 horsepower per ton ratio, 20.64, and traverse of 44 degrees per second for the hull. Just as fast for only 45. I mean, technically, they're just the same in a straight line if you go long enough, but this thing revs up a lot faster. So this thing climbs hills a lot faster, and view range is only 10 meters less. But yeah. It has a gold shell of a 298mm pen gold shell. It's APCR too, so this thing will lose penetration over distance compared to high explosive anti-tank, but has the 2 degrees of normalization. Yeah, this thing compared to the Concept 1B is just like, no. I'll choose the Concept 1B. So did they buff the 752? So these 3 were the choices, I think, for the next ranked battle season. You can choose one of these 3 heavy tanks, and likely people will go for the autoloader or the fucking broken one. But we already covered this tank. It's basically a Object 907 for heavy with an autoloader. Doesn't have the good DPM, but it's an autoloader. So here is the profile. You already saw this probably, but it's all red because it's Russian and you're not penetrating this stuff. You do have the commander and loader cupola, or gunner. It's a loader cupola, so that's a commander, that's a loader. But yeah, those are the only weak spot on this thing. Upper plate is very rounded and bouncy. Lower plate is small and still rounded. Side armor is Jesus 140 for the side armor, and it's Russian, so it's sloped downwards, similar to the 257. So it's like a V shape, or the Object 907, but fucking broken too. But this thing has only 14 horsepower per ton ratio and only 45, so it's not as fast to rev up as the Concept 1B, and it has garbage accuracy and garbage aim time with low DPM, but it's an autoloader with 3 rounds, so that's the only upside. It turns slower than the Concept 1B, and the hull traverse is slower too. So it's still good, Russian armor good, but this thing has mobility. Insane mobility and decent, very decent armor for Americans, especially the side armor, which is insane, 120. So that's my 3 choices. But yeah, Strv K feels not the best choice. Not really.